Everyone, back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with another rumour has it video. We're talking about players linked to the football club this coming transfer window. It looks like someone's been spotted a new signing. No, it's not Dominic Calvert-Lewin getting a pass out of Greg's. You know, it's not Chiesa who's just flown back to check out Phoenix and then he's gone back to Euro 2024. No, it's a young player, another one for the future. Make of that what you will. I'd rather have players for the present, to be honest with you, but I understand growing the future of the club and growing the youth academy like we've done previously with the likes of Alfie Harrison from Manchester City. So this kid was spotted by the training ground as the miraculous wonders of computing. Mark will pull up the picture right now, and everyone was abuzz to say, who's this player, who's this player? I do laugh at these things because sometimes it's just a random kid who looks like a footballer. I think there was a lad out in the drink once, I think in Newcastle, and people took a picture of him, and it wasn't a footballer at all. It was just a random kid waiting for his mates, I think, which is quite funny. But looking at this is a young player. So his name is Miodrag Pivas, and he plays over in, I think it's the Croatian second division, I think it is, for a team called Jivintsu. Pardon my pronunciation, but it means unity apparently, which is a very nice segue into playing for Eddie Howe, because he's all about the unity, isn't he? So this kid is one for the future. He plays defensive midfield. He can play there, but he's played centre-back predominantly all last season. His contract expires this summer. It looks like the club are going to snap him up. He's 19 years old. He's played for the Serbian under-17s. He's been likened to former Chelsea and Manchester United player Nemanja Matic. Nearly said Vidic, did that on the first take, had to re-record. Very, very close. But he was a decent player, for Chelsea and for Manchester United. Maybe not so much for Man United in the last stages of his career, but definitely for Chelsea. And this kid shares a lot of similar qualities. He's a big lad, he's 6'2", he's strong, good in the air, he looks good on the ball, he sprays a few passes around as well, which is really, really good. I mean, our youth academy definitely needs a little bit more quality. You know, they were pasted, I think, a few times last season. Alfie Harrison looks a really good player. You know, there's stories that were after some young lad from Arsenal, looks very much like Saka Mark II. I think he might even be coming in the door next, and then this lad as well on the back of it. So we are growing something in terms of players coming through. We've been very lucky, I think. You know, the last couple of years we've had the likes of the long staffs come through. Yes, didn't quite work for Matty. Sean's got his doubts, but he's a steady first team player. Louis Miley's a really, really good young prospect. Elliot Anderson looks like he's kicking on a little bit as well. So you need to bring through these young players, especially in the world of FFP, PSR, where you've got to grow within really, because you can't go out and spend copious amounts of money in the transfer market. Ironically enough, you know, when you do buy a gem for 5 million quid, like in Kuba Minter, you got to try and cash in on them for 40 million quid. That looks like it's not happening either. You know, we'll have a bit more story on that as we move forward. You know, that could mean that some of the more senior players that Eddie perhaps doesn't want to sell, he'll have to sell, in the shape of Wilson and Miggy. There's been some news about that. We'll get another reaction video up about that, guys, as well, once we get a bit more meat on the bones for it. But, you know, there is exciting youth coming through in Newcastle United, and I think we need that, because you can't just rely on players who are on the wrong side of 30. You know, looking at the likes of Pivas, there is a lot of Fabian Schär about him, especially when he's played at the back. He seems to bring the ball out from the back, goes on little mazy runs, finds people with these crossfield passes, and that's very Fabian Schär-esque. So if we bring the kid into the youth academy and he maybe comes and trains with the first team and watches Fabian, learns off Fabian, we could have a ready-made Fabian Schär replacement to step in really and fill his boots. I mean, I think we'll get at least another season out of Schär. I would worry that maybe the season after his legs might start failing. He still looks good in the Euros as well for Switzerland. So I think Fabi's got another year left in him. Hopefully we'll get Sven Botman back fit soon. He's putting in the overtime, he's grafting on the bike, he's looking good. It looks like he's getting ready for the pre-season. So we've seen a few players do this. Harvey Barnes, Fabian Schär, obviously Callum Wilson, who's subject potentially to one of those PSR moves that has to come in to bank the money. But the centre-half position, I think the back four position in general, Trippier's aging out. Schär's the wrong side of 30, Burns the wrong side of 30. You know, so we brought in Lloyd Kelly, who's 26 on a free, he's decent. We've got Tino and Hall, who are young. You know, Botman's still young, but we need that right-sided centre-half position filled. Now, maybe this kid is one for the future. You know, there is links to Tamori as well, you know, and another player from AC Milan, which we'll do a reaction video on that one for certain and get all the stats up, because he looks a real player in the shape of Malik Thor. So keep it tuned to the channel, guys. We'll be back soon with some more rumour hazards. If you like this kind of a thing, click subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Hopefully this young lad is a cracking player and we'll see him in the first team in jig time. But I understand the club building for the future, but don't ignore the present, guys. We need to enhance this squad if we've got any chance of getting back to the top four next season and stop people like Chelsea trying to sniff around Alexander Isak. Bugger off, Chelsea. You got no chance. Keep it evermore, guys. Have a belter. Like the channel. Help it grow. We'll see you later. Cheers.